Hello everyone, welcome to this session. So in this session, we will discuss more on the cross-validation and the implementation of it. So we have seen cross-validation last week, right? Instead of generating a single training set and a test set, we do it in k-fold mode. So let's see. So here, for example, k equals to 4. So then I do for mode. So the data set is divided into the 4 subsets, or as I say, 4 folds. And the model is trained on the combination of the k-1, so 3 folds, and tested in 1 fold. So this we will cycle through each fold as a test set, so until all of them are visited. So the result is there are 4 prediction errors, right? Or the performance metrics, other performance metrics we can see here, right? So now the average of them is the performance of the machine learning model. So this is a k-fold cross-validation. So there are pros and cons. So what are the advantages? First, we reduce the random error of splitting because we do 4 times. And also that we have more robust performance evaluation of the machine learning model compared with a single training set and a single test set, because this is the result is the average of the 4 outcomes. Right? And also we maximize the data set utilization. And the drawbacks is what? First of all, this needs to train 4 times and so have longer training time. And also the implementation complexity is increased. So this is the advantage and drawback of the k-fold cross-validation. So how to implement it in MATLAB? So we can see, because the k-fold cross-validation is again to generate the training set and the test set, right? So we use the same function, CV partition. So this function divides the samples into a training set and a test set. But compared with the last session, the input arguments are different. So we have a group, k-fold, and stratify. So let's see what are they. So this group is an array or a cell array of any data type. So this indicating the class of each sample. And k, this is the number of folds. And the stratify, so this means that if we want to use stratified sampling, as we have discussed in the last session, we use it. Otherwise, if it's false, we don't use stratified sampling. The result H partition, so this is again an object. So this defines a partition for k-fold cross-validation. So more details you can see in the live script and you can try it yourself. So here I provide an example. So now I create a data set, this data set called Y, and it has 2 classes. The first 200 samples and the value is 1, they belong to class 1. And the last 20 samples, their value is 2, and they belong to class 2. So now I want to build the k-fold cross-validation using the stratified sampling. So why I use stratified sampling? Because the second class is much less than the first class, right? So now I write this function, CV partition, Y, this is the group, k-fold equals to 4, we use the stratification, right? So now let's see how it goes. So if we run this command, this one will be provided. So the CV1 is a result. We can see the number of observations, 220, and it divides it to 4 types of training set and the test set. So we can visualize it as here. So you can also try it yourself in the live script. The last is leave one out cross-validation, right? This is very widely used. So we can think leave one out cross-validation is an extreme case of the k-fold cross-validation. So in this case, so each fold, the size of each fold is 1. So all the data is considered as individuals, right? So what we do is to train on the k-1 samples and we test on the remaining 1 sample. So then we will cycle through each sample as a test sample. Then we can eventually get all the result and average it. So this is leave one out. cross-validation. So how to implement it? Here I show one example. I generate some data set, so 1 to 9 and then 20, right? Now I still use CP partition. This is the size of the X, and then I use a leave out. So here is a result. It provides me the 9, 1, 9, 1. So each one I use 9 samples to train, 1 samples to test. So if we look at in detail, for example, the C training one, so it means the first one, this one I use for training, and the last one for test. And if I see the second of it, the testing sample is here, right? So more details, you can see the live script, and you can try it yourself. So this is more details about the cross-validation and the implementation of it. Okay, thank you very much. Bye-bye.